Andy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. I just don't hear me. What?
Okay. Find the page, find Ches, middle of the page. So you bought from Tanya the Tchilo Ochim Shebizgal Salev Shaykh.
Now I'm not hearing that. Now I wasn't hearing. It's chopping out.
When the house is fully expressed, alles lieber Preis am meisten. Aber habe ich was muss geben am meisten am meisten. Kann ich brauchen Sachen am meisten. So the he uses this concept many. There's two types of feeling. There's the feeling that's connected to the mind. That's should be zgalus libre, and then there's the feeling that it's only
It's going in and out somehow. It's a bad connection. Also, the video's off.
the regular of because Avo themselves, just like it says in Tanya, they get Talmud Sliba. And to it's Moich themselves is above a sea. לכן במסך המשך המעשה זוהר ומס, פריש חידש. שבחינס המייך נמשך למחר שלא יודע, זה אין עם המייס. So he compares the Gilui Likus, what happens in Rosh Chodesh, to the way the Avash Betalumis Liboy is not really on its own connected to Ma'is. So the mother says Malacha because the pile the on Rosh Chodesh there is a seer. כמו מחשב הטבע הקדוש ברוך הוא מצרף למעשה. זה שכל שמסר של בנים בהגוד, that's what it says in Tanya in הגוד, בפרק תזיין, לפעמים התבון הארץ נאסס מייך למנוקווה, דזלו שנעשת יותר למצס. eine כמו בראש חידש, המייך נאסת חייס למלכוס, דעשיר שזה עניין, יעשת יותר למצס. So that's so it is basically he's using the same concept that the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya Perek Design. How a higher level of meichin, not this galus liba, a level of meichin is which is kachyosa. It's not talumis. It's not revealed in the house. So to connect that to Maisa, there's a special act of God, so to speak. Because Baruch Mitzaf al Maisa, The similar thing, similar to that, what happens in Chodesh, that the Eibishter connects the Madrega of Meichem, which is above me, this to the Maise of Imei HaMaise. It's not the Imei HaMaise, but it's only Nika Imei HaMaise because it's Meichem, but the Eibishter is Mitzafel HaMaise, V'meile, the Meichem Nasin Kei. So this is a description of the Indian of Rosh Chodesh. Like Rosh Chodesh is a combination of two opposites. Then he brings another way to explain it. The we learned a few times that when they combine two shemes of Havai and Adna, so if the yud is if it starts with the yud of Havai, it means the Havai is dominant. And if it starts with Aleph, it's the Adna is dominant. The Shabbos of the Shil of Adna Ba'avai. Shabbos Havai is the dominant one, and Adna is Nishlav Ba'avai. Shil the Shem Adna Elikim Nichloni Elonim Elchonim B'Shem Havai. So it says Adna and Elikim, both of them he uses them in both concept, but the same like also in Shachat V'Emunah. So Elikim and Adna in this concept are the same. Both represent the idea of slapshus and the Neilamis, because Adon is Malchus, Elikim is Gvuris. Both of them mean slapshus and Neilamis. It says also Malchus, Vinyanim Gvuris, connected. Ragilu Shem Havai, but Shchedesh Shem Havai Ba'adna, that Nogim Shem Adna, but Zem Mea Gilu Shem Havai. Okay, so that is, so we explained why Shabbos and Shchedesh are unique, special days. But all this applies to Shabbos and Chodesh the way it's today's day and age, today, which is Achar Meis HaChoil. There's a Meis HaChoil, and then you reach to Shabbos and Chodesh. Losid Love is another totally different experience. What does it say in Losid? Which means Chodesh shel Chodesh v'Shabbos shel Shabbos. The Chodesh itself is a Chidush in Chodesh, and the Shabbos shel Shabbos. The Shabbos the Achshav Nechshel K'mechel Gabish the Achshav K'mechel Nechshel Gabish Shabbos Elos. Shabbos today is compared to Choil compared to the Shabbos Elos. Same thing the Chodesh of today. So that he starts another the discussion the mile of Losid Love. In Eksiv, the pasuk says in the get to us, love it. The light of the moon will be as strong as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun will be 7 times more like the oil of Sheish Merish, the Ocean of Bimish. Pure Shapashut. So the simple meaning is the Elvonika Hamad Achshav, Elchamish Vasai. The Elvona is like the Elchama of now, and the Elchama will be Shavasai. In Eksiv, so what is the inner meaning of this? That's the Pirush HaPashat. In another place, Chassidus says that the Elavona will be like the Hamad Delosit, but he doesn't bring this in now. In Eksiv, Vayema Uyavai Chodesh Ma'achad. Mashiach comes, Hashem Echad, the Eibishter one in his name. The Gemara asks himself in a question, Otto Eden Alav Echad, what do you mean? Then the Eibishter will be one. Now he's not one. Tiret, and the Gemara answered, not in the current world, then the way you write the Eibishter's name, the way you say the Eibishter's name are two different. We're on the bottom of page Kufay Ches. Nika b'Shem Havai, Nika b'Shem Adna. Like the davening, it's written Havai, but we read Adna. It means the ksiv, what's written, what's inherent is the Havai, but what we read, what misgal to us is only Adna. The Gila itself, even the Gila will also be Havai. That's the meaning of Zel Sheir Elavona Karachama. Elavona is Adna. The Shem Adna Gila Shem Havai. The Shem Adna itself is also be Havai. That's Elavona. Havai Echod. So that's the meaning of Shmai Echod. There's one name. It means one name. Havaya and now become one name. Havaya Echad. But then what does it mean to say before Havaya Echad? Havaya Echad is Shmo Echad. So Shmo Echad means K'mo Shani Nichtav Ani Nikra. What does Havaya Echad mean? Havaya Echad the Ksiv Vayikra Havaya Havaya. So the pasuk says in Gimel Mitzrach Vayikra Havaya Havaya twice Havaya. Shem Havaya Leila Shem Havaya L'Sata. The two levels in Havaya, the Havaya Leila and Havaya L'Tata. Now there is a separation between them. That's what Shem Havai Chod means. Havai Chod means there's one Havai. The Havai Le'el and the Havai L'Tata will be united. Right? Havai Chod she Havai Sechot. Mipnei she'i Havai Chod she'gila Shem Havai Le'el. So the fact that Havai Chod Shem Havai Gam Shmoi Chod she'gila Shem Havai L'Mata. Because the Gil is from the Madrega Havai Le'el, that's why it's gonna it's going to reach, also in the Shem Adna to be Mizgal in the Shem Havai. I'm sorry, the Shem Havai is Mizgal in Shem Adna Kamoshu. Now, because the Gil of Havai, the lower level of Havai, Shem Adna Master, Shem Adna has the ability to hide, to conceal it. אבל לא עושה שגילו שם הווי לאלה, גילו שם הווי, למטה ממש. ממש למטה. So that's the introduction. So that explains what it says that La'asid Love will be Shabbos b'Shabbat means Shabbos shel Shabbos. What's meant us? Gilui Shem Havaya Deleila. Today the Gilui of Shabbos, and today the Gilui Beila Mazah, the Gilui of Shabbos, which is Taka Shem Havaya, what we learned earlier on the Maimon Shem Havaya, but it's all Havaya Delisat the Tata. La'asid Love will reach a higher level of Havaya Deleila. So that's real. That's what Shabbos b'Shabbatim. What is the meaning when it says b'chodesh b'chodesh shel chodesh? What's meant us? Dine dbeis of chodesh and the base book of Vayam Pres Machas Olim Adalim V'Mal Kabbalas and Gibs Gvula Alachs and Atzilas. Now, in the situation, so the base of Chodoshim, the 12 Rosh Chodesh, 12 months of the year, they make couple from the base bucker Vayom Chesmach Zem Demayel. Couple from the 12 bucker and of the Yam Shel Shleima, which means the base Gvulei Alachs and the Atzilus, which is the Madriga, like we mentioned. The Gvulei Alachs means the edges. It's just the way it's expressing the concept of the Shishamidas, the way they connect with each other. So that's the Shishamidas of Atzilus. אבל לאוסי לקבל מגימו מידס האחנו דרך הנטי. לאוסי לא בדיד, בייס בשחיידש, with the yam של מיילו, they'll get the highest from a higher מדרגה, from the גימו מידס האחנו. כמו שקוראים פירוש האריזה על ספר דצניאס, it says in פירוש האריזה, on ספר דצניאס, which is a part of the Zohar, so the Arizal says that the base of Shchedish, even the Gilus Achim. There are two ways to look at the base Chadashim Chodesh Eibor. One is that's the base Baka the Machos Emel Maila. The base Baka means that it's the midas of Elam Abriya, and Machos is above them. That's one way. That's the way we experience it now. But La'asid explains the way the Arizal explains that the base of Chodesh Eibor connected to the Gilul Midas Arachim, the Arich Hankin, which is way above Atzilus, which is the higher level. Zeo Chodesh Shel Chodesh. So that's the name of Chodesh Shel Chodesh. Chodesh now is connected to the base Baka. The Chodesh Shel La'asid Lo, the Chodesh Shel Chodesh is connected to the Gilul Midas Arachim Darich Han. Oz Yavei Kol Bas Al Ishtachas Lefanav Chodesh Shabbos Shel Chodesh. That's why La'asid Lo. Now we're going to answer the question at the beginning of the mind. That is why I have to explain what Shabbos Shel Chodesh is. What's going to happen La'asid Lo in Shabbos Shel Chodesh? Now we understand why La'asid Lo it says Yavei Kol Bas Al the Chodesh B'Chodesh Shabbos Shabbat Yavei Kol Bas Al Ishtachas Lefanav. The whole Shabbos al Chodesh, not only the Regalim. Why? Tzorich la'ovin. That already asked the question he asked in the beginning of the Maimon. Tzorich la'ovin. Why is the Re'iyah now? The Re'iyah means the revelation, the vision that we got to to the Beis Hamikdash, and we see godliness. Why is that happen only in the Yom Tovim? Shabbos is higher than Yom Tov. That's a big question. Yes, not getting in the mind. So there's another medrash to explain this concept. In this medrash, say Pashas Achei, the medrash Rabbi itself Pashas Achei, it says, "Yisrael loy samchu ba'olam." You know, not happy with my word. Shenema ismach Yisrael ba'osav. The same pasuk. Ismach Yisrael ba'osav. Samach loy nema. Sameach loy nema. Ela Yismach. Sameach means now. Ismach means in the future. It means now is not sameach. Yisrael loy samcha. Interesting matter. Loy samcha. Right now, there's no real simcha. Same thing. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Loy samach. Loy samach ba'olam. The Rebbe is also not happy. Shenema ismach havaya b'maisav. What does ismach means? Samach sameach ein nema. Elas ismach. Also, HaKadosh Baruch Hu ismach b'aseh shel tzaddik. What do we see in this medrash? That real simcha is going to happen only la'aseh love. Why does Shleimus HaSimcha la'aseh love? Was meint er eigentlich? Achshau agam shesh simcha shel mitzvah. Now it's also simcha. Simcha shel mitzvah. Uksiv, that's uksiv. If this havaya b'simcha, havaya has to be b'simcha. Kom yesh gan ken etzel. So ein hanam with the simcha, but today's simcha, there's also etzel. There's also a situation of sadness. It says in Tanya, there's a combination. There's always a mixture of non-happiness, sadness. Similarly, we talk about Kadosh Baruch Hu. His place is happiness, but there's still a but Lamato, but Elam Western, in our experience, we cannot see the Ebershter's happiness. It's hidden. Lo osid sheyagilu gam lamato kanal yishlemus hasimcha. So that's the meaning of the medrash. The real simcha is lo osid because the simcha is a pure simcha. By Eden will be no etzed, no sadness, no situation that prevents simcha, and by the Ebershter will be gilu lamato. So in the Yom Tovim Nikoim Meyadem Simcha. The Yom Tovim we say in Dav Rabbanik. What did not Hashem Elokeinu be'Ava Meyadem Simcha. Meyadem Simcha Kosov. It's a pasuk. Samachta b'chagecha. Shabbos ain't Nikoim Simcha. Shabbos is not called Yom Simcha. The Belosh not Torah Nika Yom Menucha. Okay, we spoke about it the first time, but I couldn't find the exact expression. Yom Menucha. But the concept of Shabbos in Torah is Menucha. Shabbos Mikol Malachti. Shabbos. V'man Yenuach Avdecha. Kamoicha. So it's all Menucha. It means rest. It's not happiness. It's not joy. It's happiness. In the Nevi'im says that Shabbos is Oynek. Shabbos Oynek. That says in the Shai, I think. So it's Oynek and Menucha, but not Simcha. Yom Tov and Simcha. What is the difference between Menucha and Oynek and Simcha? The person in the state of Menucha is resting. He's not excited. He's just resting. He's satisfied, but that's not Simcha means joy, which is expressive joy. So the expression of joy doesn't happen on Shabbos. Oynek is also delight, but there's no expression. There's no great excitement. It's just the pure delight and the rest. That's together of Shabbos. Schenken Yom Tov is Simcha. So again, somebody will see the difference of Shabbos and Yom Tov. That Simcha is the name of Gilui. L'chein ozev b'Yisrael. L'shemer as Gilui. So the difference it says between Shabbos and Yom Tov is, Shabbos is a higher madrega, but the Gilui is more Yom Tov than Shabbos. Agam b'Shabbos l'mayla Yom Tov. Like I said, Shemechem the Abba, Mechem Yom Tov, Mechem the Ima. That's the question he asked also in the beginning of the Maimon. Shabbos don't have the Gilui, but it's Mechem the Abba, which is higher than Mechem the Ima. Shabbos, says Kabbalah, is the expression of a madrega which is called Mechem the Abba, the Mechem of Chachma, which is above Bina. So why do we say Shabbos lack the union of Simcha? These are very Tzchaim Atirutz. So the Tzchaim does actually it's doesn't answer that question. The Meichen the Abba, Agam Shengwain Yes, it's talking true that the Meichen the Abba, a higher level, Nimshochim, and Nimshochim at the base Levushim, but the way we experience, Meichen the Abba in this world, the way it's pulled down, the way it's drawn into our experience, there's two levushim, the two garments that separate us. Number one, Chris Neida Abba, Uneideim. So the two levushim that cover the Meich and the Abba, not for them to reach into our lower, which is Neida, which the levushim are called Neida Abba, Neideim. Meich and the Aim, Elbush Echad, Rak Neideim. What is the meaning of this statement? It says, which means that Meichen the Ema more in a state of expression and revelation. Meichen the Abba more concealed. That's one point. Not only that, Matzine Isa and Milo bin al. We also find in Kabbalah, that Bina is an advantage of a Chachma, these Galas Atik with Bina. Eigentlich ist Galas, Atik und Dafk über Bina Dafk. Dafk in the level of Bina, when things are developed and expanded, that brings out the revelation of the Madrig of Atik, which is the highest level of Kesser. That's why we find that Nevoinim have an advantage over Chachamim. Kosu uksiv uvnei secher jedem bina leitim. Uvnei secher jedem bina. The bina is a special quality. Omar Hazal, the famous Chazal, that feel bina meish leish takach kavasai. Uvnei secher, the jedem bina, bina is such a high level of that in bina meish leish takach kavasai. Times meish we couldn't find in the vein. See what it says in the beginning of Parshas Vayim. Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Omer lechem anoshim chachamim nevoinim v'yiduim." Achar כך see v'ekach chachamim v'yiduim v'levoinim lo yikoma. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Let's take chachamim nevoinim v'yiduim," and then the end it says, "V'ekach hasosh shechem chachamim v'yiduim." And nevoinim doesn't say. So the Gemara says, "Nevoinim v'mei Moshe lo yashkar." They couldn't find nevoinim. What? So with this we see that Nevoinim has a special, unique mila that Chachamim don't have, and that in the time of Moshe we couldn't even find it. But explain about it. The Chacham maybe Hasechel La'atzim Kam Sheini Yochel Lasbir Elazulus. Chacham is someone who understands, who captures the idea, the seichel for himself, but he lacks the capacity to explain it to the other. So since he understands himself well, so it's called a chacham, it's called wise. But Avo, nobody knows this unique quality that he can explain, can bring down the idea to another person. And that's a special quality that chacham doesn't have. Rashi says, Novin, was Rashi title was Novin, means Shemevin Dovin Tech. He has the capacity to derive one idea from another. Dova Mitech Dova. So he explains these two, how did these two things reconcile? Either to explain to another and understand Dova Mitech Dova is really the same thing. In order to explain, to be able to explain the idea to people who are not capable or not on that level, so he has to have the ability to invent explanations. He gets the idea, but he invents something with to be able to explain. So that koyach, to be able to bring it down lower, comes from a higher a place. That's why we say it's Galas Atik with Bina. Bina, the Novin, gets it from Ayam Madrega. Which goes to B'Shleima, by Da B'Shleima, Shleima Marshall, the famous example that Chassidus always brings, that Shleima was able to say 3,000 Mishalim. The way Chassidus explains, what does 3,000 mean? Means he was able to bring down the idea, the from a very high level 3,000 steps down. Because he had the capacity to bring it down very low. It brings one muscle, that muscle that person is not trying to understand. So bring a muscle to the muscle 3,000 times, which means he was able to bring it down so low. That's a result of the fact that Shlomo was the smartest. So that shows that the ability to explain comes from the highest level of wisdom. See, there's another pasuk that brings out this same concept. Ma'ashem maskel el dol pasuk Tehillim. What is maskel el dol? Dol ubchinas yisoid. Dol is the level of yisoid. Why exactly is it not? I don't remember why dol is yisoid. But they ship ubchinas yisoid. Shashpa v'agilu ubchinas maskel dafke maskel dafke. So that comes from the madrig of maskel, which is the highest madrig in Seif. Another emes, we say in davening. Okay, Rabbi Ketzak Yaakov Kel Elyon Goimel Chasadim Tovim Koine HaKoil. So the Kel Elyon is connected to Koine HaKoil. Why? He says because they share Koine HaKoil. Kines Yisoid, the word HaKoil is Maramaz of the sphere of Yisoid, like we say in the pasuk. Hashem Agdula V'Agbula V'Tiferes V'Netzach V'Aroid. And then Kichoil B'Shemayim V'Oz. Choil is the Remes of Yisoid. So Koil is the level of Yisoid, which is the communication. It means to be able to bring things down to the Makabel. What they share Koil is Kel Elyon. Where do we get the capacity of Koil is from Kel Elyon, which costs them a kamach. V'hainu the Pchinas Hagilu V'Tayol Yeniyos. In order to be able to reveal the inner secrets to an outsider, he comes from a higher place. This Mila, which he does discuss, is dark in the sphere of Sabdina. The Meich in the Abba Gam Shem Mila yes Chacham itself is Avram, which means it's a high. It's Av is Chachma. Avram means a high, the lofty, high level of Av. Seichel Nela Mikol Rai. It's a level of Seichel which is hidden, because it's not these gals. Which goes with Terei B'Ashas Lechem Chabad Goes L'Shom. It says in the Ma'am Terei Goes. Goes explains Avram is Nela Mikol Rai. Well, hey, so all this will explain what the difference in Shabbos and the Regalim. Well, hey. Regalim, which is a Gilead himself, Mitzvah. Davka Regalim, which is when is the Gilead himself, the Simcha, then you have the Mitzvah Re'iyah. Have a losid Nema, Mashenka losid Lava, Nema Vayim Chodesh, losid Lava. We just said it before, explained. Losid Lava is the Gilead of Chodesh, Chod Shabbos Shal Shabbos, Chod Shal Chodesh. Shabbos Shabbos, yeah, Re'iyah Shtama B'Chol Shabbos, because then the Gilead of Havayid Le'ela, the Gilead Shem Shani Nechtav Nikta B'Meile, Re'iyah V'Shtama B'Chol Shabbos. It's possible to reach the level of Re'iyah and Shtachava every Shabbos. Oz Yesh Levis HaSimcha. That will be the ultimate perfection of Simcha. Yismach Havayid B'Maisa. Like I said earlier, Kadosh Baruch Hu Yismach La'asid Lavai. Nachavot Yismach Oisius Mashiach. Yismach is also the same letter as Mashiach. The Tzivvei in the Yaskal Abdi Yom Benito go Ma'oj with the Gil of Pnimisat. Like I said earlier, there can be the Gil of Pnimisatik. I'm a Shakasa Badaba, Yem Hashmini Shilach. I'm fast, we learned earlier in this Sefer, on the Maim Yem Hashmini Shilach. Maim of Simchas Torah. That point that will the Osid Love will be the Gil of Pnimisatik. So that's going to be La'asi, the Gila of Pnimisatik, but Mela be able to be there on every Shabbos. Shem Shem Ata B'Shabbos, suddenly Tovecha. We say Shabbos we bought it earlier, suddenly Tovecha. This more B'Chos Hashem Shabbos Gereinik. Ha'Makash Shvikon Izbo V'Sandgo Mitovecha. We get the light from your toiv. What does toiv mean? So Shazeh Kolo, Shazeh שזהו על הגיל מבחינת שם הווי לטאטה. Now, when we say mituvecho, that applies to הווי לטאטה. A higher level of toiv. The level of toiv is a much higher level of toiv. more aftuf asher tzafanta liriecha. The toiv asher tzafanta, the Rebbe to hit the toiv. Raftuf. Tzafanta b'gematria 10. Gematria keser. The word tzafanta is gematria keser because the gilef keser. גם אשר צפנת לרעך, the three words, אשר צפנת לרעך, ספר טייבס איסיס כסר מפריע. If you look at the three words, backward, the last letter of each word, the chof, the tof, and the reish, it's kesser. So what do we see? Marumas bepasuk, base power kesser. So it says the pasuk twice kesser. The word tzafanta is Tevis kesser, and asher tzafanta l'reacha is sefer Tevis kesser. So what does it mean? Marumas base power kesser. And base madik shva kesser, but it's atik v'ari. The la'asid iye giloi chinas pnimis atik. So that's going to be the la'asid. וזהו תוף חופש יסוד דעתי מחבר הסף מהצילוס בגיל הזה
He keeps on saying, sorry, he keeps on saying that the previous Chachma, previous Attic, right?
No,
That's like a famous line. But we said before that the Gili of Tainug is in Bina Doctor.
Yeah, so these okay, so that's there's all of the Rebbe banks in the safe amount of shin. That sometimes it says Gil Pnimisati Bina. So in other words, the Gizgalos of Atik attack Bina, but the Pnimi is the inner meaning of Chachma is in Atik. In other, see, there's a difference.
Galus, I see.
Galus Atik Bebina. These Galus, the revelation of Atik is like in Bina, but the Pnimi of Abba, the Pnimi is the inner part of Abba is Pnimi Atik. It's two different ways to look at it. Okay, it's a different story. Maybe I'll look at it more to explain. Okay, mitzvah sriya b'chol Shabbos k'may k'machad shel chodesh. So that's why I'm sorry, chad shel chodesh is a new thing starts. Okay, so we say two things here. So we finish the ending of Shabbos. The last love of Shabbos will be the Gilui of Shabbos because Shabbos. Lost, it will be a higher level of Gilui and everything. That's why we'll be able to have the Re'iyah, which is Gilui, also on Shabbos. What means the Shabbos or Shabbat? Similarly, when they get the Chad Shel Chodesh, also a little bit different. Why? Because Chodesh of Pnas Malchus, which goes of Chodesh Ish the Yod. It's interesting. He brings all pasuk from the Vayomim. That Chodesh Ishta Yolda, that Chodesh is called Ishta, male it's the highest Chodesh Malchus, which I mentioned earlier. I mean, okay, good. We also have what you brought earlier in this Maimah Gufen. Not Maimah, the Chodesh is the Levanes Malchus. For some reason, it means the Chodesh Ishta. So what's unique about Malchus? So that's another, it's an expression in Sefer Yitzira that the beginning is connected to the end, and the end is connected to the beginning. What does it mean to us? Because it's Malchus, Malchus has within it the highest level, the Tchilosim b'Sefer. Because Malchus is the last sphere, that's why it has the direct connection to the highest level. Zero Shekosu, and that's more than another person. In Bezais is Salam is Salo. Says the Alisal Chachbach Mosai, Huiba Begose. And Bezais is Salam is Sal, ask over there, I see. So Chassidus says, Tight, Zois is Davka Prince Malchus. Zois is Bahamas of Malchus. That's why Zois is Nekeva. Ask over there, I see when it's Atzin Sal, it's Sam from Mesa from Kate. So in the Madrig of Malchus is the Asker by their Oisid. Atmos is Mizgal after Malchus. So that's Chodesh Shal Chodesh. L'Osid Lava will be that Gilui. In Malchus will feel the Gilui parts. But Alkin, you have a called Bus, so the Shtach was the fun that Chol Shabbos Chodesh. That's why L'Osid Lava will be the Gilui Chol Shabbos Chodesh. Pirush Yaveko Basahu. What is the meaning? Why does it say? Why does the Pasuk use the word called Basa? Say Yaveko Echol, Yaveko Adam. What's called Basa? So that's another remez. It's supposed to be Yalkut. It says in Yalkut like this: Omar Ablaza call Mishanas the Kabasa Bailamaz Zecher Ve'oy Pnei Ashchina Bailamab. We looked it up last time alone. That we looked up that actually the Gemara says in Bachas something similar, but not Zecher Ve'oy Pnei Ashchina. It says that Kol Oisatz Kabasa is Tfilas Miskabelis. So what does it mean? What is Kabasa? So the Gemara says the Basa Ksiv Bei V'Nirpa. In the halachas of tzaras, Adam kiyah b'yah psoroi tzaras. So when it gets to the Adam, it doesn't say v'nirpa. That's what Rashi says in Gemara. When it gets to basa or b'yom ero is basa v'nirpa. The word v'nirpa, the pasuk uses dafka when it gets to basa. That's a Gemara, the Gemara, and also the Symmetrish, this Yalkut. What's pshat? What does basa mean? The basa meira l'arakas. That's the Gemara. The Rashi says over there in the Gemara. It says the asirosis leva even mikir b'chem v'nosat b'chem lev basa. Leva even means when the person is harsh, hard, like a rock, and basa is soft. So the concept of basa here in this context. The concept of basa signifies the Indian of softness, which is bittul. The basa meira l'rakos, basa means soft. Eine bitler etzene shosur meira. It's interesting. Bitl means bitler etzenes. The person is mevatel, nullifies all his personal interests and desires. Shosur meira, he stays away from anything evil. It is there. Zecher v'roye pnei ashchina. That's the lashon over there in Yalkut. What does pnei ashchina mean? Yodei she'iyeh melech b'yofi terzen mean enecha. It says in pasuk in the psukim. We looked it up also. The psukim it says melech b'yofi terzen enecha. Siv leyulminei. The pasuk before that says v'oitzem eina mirois bera. Shalidei she'oitzem mirois bera. You close your eyes. Shut your eyes from looking at evil and looking at something wrong. That brings the Melech B'Yafet Terzen Einach. He brought in an interesting. It doesn't fit so much the Hemshah of the Almighty, but he brings a vote in the middle. That L'Osid Love, that Gilad we reach. Of Zecher Pnei Ashchina, the Re'iyah, the Chol Shabbos Chodesh. What is the avodah that brings it? It's the avodah of Somera, which is expressed in the words Yova Kol Basa, Rakos, in the positive state of softness, which means bittul in the sense of Somera, that he nullifies his own ego, his own interests, and he is totally devoted to the Eiveshter. That brings the Osid Love, that Gilui of Pnei Ashchina. It's interesting how it doesn't necessarily fit before. I mean, I can say this connection, but it doesn't. Maybe it's connected. It said earlier. They say earlier about. Earlier we spoke about this Hashem. We spoke about Bitler Tzeinis. Yes, did speak about Chayla Sav, Bitler Tzeinis. So this is there. This is okay, going back to the beginning of the Ma'amar. So that's what the Yalkut says. And what's meant? The current experience, the current situation Shalosh promise. The Lila Regel in Beis Hamikdash was only three times a year. The mitzvah is Rak B'Regalim, Shemer Gilui and stuff, like we said, explained earlier. Because Re'iyah is the Gili is only B'Regalim. B'Regalim is Simcha is Re'iyah. Aval B'Shabbos HaShodesh, Agam Shebchinas Gili Shemesh Havai, Shabbos HaShodesh is higher than Regalim. It's Shemesh Havai Taka. But Aval Einam Gili Mamash. It's not fully revealed. The Shleima, Shazak, Mishkos Yitzchayim Sha'akesh Mepelek Tesvo. So this Chidash of La'asid Lovi that we just explained here is also connected to what it says in Perietz Chaim Sha'ar Krishma. So that Perietz Chaim Sha'ar Krishma is a very common thing in Chassidus, especially in the Rebbe's Maimorim. The Rebbe speaks about in the Teres Chassidus. In the Teres Chassidus, the Rebbe said, "What's the Chidush of Chassidus? Chassidus is the Gilui Atzmi." And he brings also over there this Perietz Chaim. The Chol Giluyim Asham, this Perietz Chaim says something very radical. All the Giluyim Achsham means until the time of Mashiach, including Matan Torah and Beis Hamikdash, and all the highest Giluyim L'Osid, all the highest Giluyim to be experienced in our world. Throughout Jewish history, it's all Chitzeni Asatik. It's all only the external level of Atik. Our Pnimis Atik lays Gala Adlos. That's what the Perietz Chaim says. So the Rebbe, like I said, the Maimon in Teres Chassidus, in the Sicha, in Teres Chassidus, the Rebbe says over there, that point, that there's the Chiddush of Chassidus. Chassidus is already, is like Me'ein de La'osid, Sa'achonat La'osid, which is Pnimis, Gil Pnimis Atik. It's something special. He says that's connected to our Maimon also. Why? There Shagil, Shabbos HaShodesh, Shagil Shemavayis, Giluf, Shabbos HaShodesh now, in the current situation, it's all Chitzenius. Pnimis Atik is all La'osid. Well, they have been the mayor of the Rishon. I'm a shekos of the da. So he brings in something we learned earlier in the Maimah Chodesh. Remember, there was a very in the Maimah Chodesh he brought the Sheniva. He spoke also about the Mayadim over there. He said the Sheniva b'Yom Rishon. He said that God zeh l'tzadikim la'asid lo, but the Toiv of Yom Rishon, which is daft vayal l'kim aser k'Toiv. So that Toiv is misgale. There's how today now and even in our own experience, it says that sometimes we have the shtickle gil from that Rishon. And it says it's Yom Tov. That's a Yom Tov called Yom Tov. The Tov of Yom Tov is connected to the Ra'el Kim Aser Ketav. That's what you learned in the Maimah Chodesh Ein Ches. Parshas Boy. Now we Parshas Mishpatim. So in over there he explained all this is happening now, but all that this is a ha'or against Chitzenius. Aval la'osid she'yeh b'chinas shabta shel Shabbos u'chodesh shel chodesh giluk neshem havai d'lei l'chnes pnimi yisatik. Here it's going to be giluk pnimi yisatik. Here you'll reach the vision, the giluk of b'chol Shabbos u'chodesh. Okay, to summarize the Maimah, that is the pasuk that you start the Maimah with. But now the mitzvah of Re'iyah, to be oil regel and see is only Shalosh Hagonim, because Shalosh Hagonim is the time of Simcha, the Gil and so. La'osid Yerim Shalom B'chol Shabbos HaChodesh. Hashem La'osid will be the Re'iyah Shtachavoy every Shabbos HaChodesh. They Sha'iyah Shleimus HaSimcha. Then there'll be Shleimus HaSimcha always, even Shabbos HaChodesh also. Yismach Havai B'Maisa V'Yismach Yisrael B'Oisel. Will be the Gilui of Simcha plus. All right, we'll finish now. Tomorrow morning, hopefully we'll learn the Kitzur of the Maimah, and then we'll start the new Maimah.
Okay.